Are you exhausted? Are you burnt out by the daily deluge of Trump news and nonsense? If so, you are not alone.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Liberal Expression. This week, the leftist media was feeling physically ill because, well, maybe you don't trust them.
Are you exhausted? Are you burnt out by the daily deluge of Trump news and nonsense? If so, you are not alone. Writers from both sides of the aisle have been commenting on this lately. Take a look here. Frank Bruni writing, Donald Trump has worn us all out.
Well, I think it's just, again, what Jeff Goldberg just called the circus atmosphere. And I think, one of the things I wrote about is not just that we're getting physically ill, we're exhausted, we're not sleeping, everybody's drinking too much, but that I think we're going numb. And that's the real fear, is that people are starting to say, maybe I don't care, or maybe I don't trust the news. And those are really catastrophically bad outcomes if that's where we arrive.
Is it? Really? I mean, catastrophic? That's usually a word that some use to describe hurricanes, and as you know, Dorian was in the news this week. But it wasn't quite as interesting to the leftist media as President Trump's Sharpied-on hurricane map. Between 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Wednesday, CNN and MSNBC dedicated 145 minutes of coverage to this map. And the networks joined in because this was a game changer. Jail time is now coming.
Oddly enough, knowingly misrepresenting a government weather forecast is a crime, and it's punishable by up to 90 days in prison.
There's also U.S. statute on false weather reports.
Yeah.
Is that worth noting, given the fact that I think the president might have given out a false weather report?
By the way, it's against the law to knowingly issue or publish a false weather forecast.
Shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 90 days or both.
Yeah, that media hype lasted until it was pointed out that CNN screwed up on their own weather map, showing that Alabama had strangely been renamed Mississippi somehow. And while the nation awaits the massive trials for the high weather map crimes, they could do so in the painful purgatory of the 7-hour climate change town hall marathon that was on CNN this week, in which they promoted this product endlessly, gladly boasting that they took up an idea that was even rejected by the DNC.
Let's bring in CNN's chief climate correspondent, Bill Weir. Bill, great to see you. Very exciting what's happening tonight.
Yeah, it's big. It's big. 7 hours.
Just 7 hours on the climate crisis. So just take us behind the scenes. Why did you all decide to do, why did CNN, I should say, decide to do one topic with this?
Well, it's because there was so much cry out from those voters who will caucus for Democrats or independents who put this topic at the very top of their concern list. And many were calling for a dedicated climate debate. All 10 on stage, the DNC didn't go for that for whatever reason. And so we thought, why not make it happen? So we're doing back-to-back town halls just focused on this. And look, I'm biased. I think we could do a town hall a day on this.
Oh, yeah, every night. I mean, you can't possibly make your ratings go any lower, and you can keep pushing those Democratic candidates and their ideas, just like CBS did this week for Andrew Yang.
And he's the candidate who's offering $1,000 a month, a freedom dividend, he calls it, to everybody in the country, essentially. And he's sort of carved out a space no one else has.
Freedom dividend is a good name, and $1,000 a month is a good policy.
Is it? Surely the anchor wouldn't be giving his opinion on policy. I mean, that would seem like they're kissing up to the leftists. I mean, why don't these anchors just shill for the products that leftists make and bake a cake for them?
Welcome back. This is so exciting. It is time to now catch up with our next guest, sitting Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
We got a Supreme Court justice. Come on! How great is this job? She's currently on summer recess and here to talk about her latest children's book, Just Ask. Be different, be brave, be you, which also has a Spanish edition. Still hard to believe I'm going to say, Justice Sotomayor, it's so good to see you. Thank you for being here.
It is delightful to be here.
Oh, by the way, is this your 10th anniversary?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Congratulations. We have a little, well, big, a very, very large cake for you.
Oh, my gosh. Look at that.
Congratulations on 10 years on the bench.
Thank you so much.
You know, I wonder if that cake is about as half-baked as the rest of their news product, or maybe like the half-baked excuses that the leftist media give their heroes.
All right, Prince Harry, taking a little bit of criticism recently for traveling on private planes while at the same time voicing concerns about the environment. Earlier today in Amsterdam, the Duke of Sussex announced a new initiative aimed at helping travelers cut their carbon emissions. He also addressed his own controversy, saying sometimes he needs to fly private.
Oh, well, it's just a little bit of criticism. They can excuse that. It's just like excusing their own bias. They should be allowed to spew out their sewage, but don't you dare publicly call them out on it. They don't like that at all.
Trump allies are raising about $2 million to target very specifically reporters and editors at the New York Times, the Washington Post, and other mainstream outlets with the stated purpose of trying to discredit these reporters in addition to the institutions themselves. This is unusual. It's an escalation in what he's been doing and going after the media. It is really to go after the individual reporters and really try to damage their credibility in public. Their polling is showing that these attacks of bias, whether it's mainstream media or social media, continue to stir up the base.
This time it's being led by the Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America. And he has injected a poison into our system. This is a virus that he has planted in our culture.
Yeah, calling out media bias. That's a virus to those who work at MSNBC. I wonder why they would look at it that way. That wraps us up for this week. I'm Eric Shiner for MRC-TV. Be sure to check out MRCTV.org, like and subscribe to our videos, and we'll be back with some more leftist media wackiness next week.